So, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, June 15, 2022, and this is the Hindu Daily Edition. As usual, we'll be first identifying the most important news, followed by a detailed analysis. But before moving further, let's take up a map based question for prelims. Okay, you have to comment. Okay, what you have to comment on world map where is Atlas Mountains. Okay, so let me know where is Atlas Mountains, and then also which wind passes, or leave this part, that would go in inside option, right? So just let me know where is Atlas Mountain. Fine, and let's move forward. So this 10 lakh person got to get government job in 18 months, announces Modi. Okay, we'll read this. This is important for at least all of us. WPI inflation quickens to record 16%. Okay. Power meets Mamta not required. ED question Rahul for not required. Ex judges right to Supreme Court against UP demolitions. Okay. Okay, there is nothing here. Okay. There is nothing here. We'll see this hike in MSP for Kharif crop insufficient. Okay, Microsoft is retiring the Internet Explorer today. Already Edge has taken care of its space, right? So Microsoft Edge is doing its work. Okay, and let's see. There is nothing on these pages as well. The C factor in Russia-Ukraine war. Little clarity or extent to which both sides have used cyber weapons. Okay, so this is also a concept. We'll see it very briefly, not much required, but maybe a point can be taken out from here. Cold comfort. Okay, it is related to inflation. Okay, we'll see. Look, the side articles are not that important because it is just a consolidation of news and nothing else. Fine. Malnutrition in India is a worry model. Yes, this has to be done. Okay, now let's see the way to end child marriage. Fine, this is giving a solution. Maybe it can be written in way forward. Dictates for doctors. The draft regulation for professional conduct of doctor requires extensive reworking. Not required. Can the new Google chatbot be sentient? Okay, we'll see. A closer look at the Reuters Institute Digital News Report 2022. Okay, we'll do the gist. I don't think that would be important. And what is this command line program? Okay, fine. Center clears Agnipath scheme. We'll be seeing this. Okay. Okay, there is nothing here. Return to status quo on border in talks with China. Fine. Unemployment has decreased, says the latest labor force survey. Presidential poll. Special cell setup. We have lots unsung heroes of freedom struggle. Okay. Plaintiff seeks FIR not required. New plan to save jumbos from train hit. Patterns we analyze, measures can be taken by the way. Okay. Just know this part. Assam, West Bengal and Uttarakhand saw most number of elephant killed in train accidents. Okay. Okay. Indian worker treated like slaves in Qatar BMS. Obviously, they only lack financial social security, says the study. We have to see this. Look, there is a study that says something. You cannot quote this study obviously because it may not be very relevant, but this point may be relevant. What it is saying that yes, financial and social security is missing. Reversal Joe Biden to visit Saudi. Russia cut off last routes out of eastern Ukraine city. Beijing is trying to endanger. Okay. German federal court on Tuesday. Jewish material. Okay. Top US Chinese official hold candidate discussion. Fine. Francis total to buy 25% stake in Adani Green Hydrogen Unit. Okay. may raise rates to 5.9% by year from 4.4%. Okay, fine. It may raise and all those things. We won't be doing this because when it raises, we'll see them. Venu Srinivasan to RBI board. Okay. Is installed. Okay, we'll see. Do this IRDA news. Harshal Chahal help India to stay alive in the series. Okay. Okay. So I don't think there's other important news here, right? Okay, so with this we have identified the most important news. Now let us go and directly start to analyze the same, right? So 10 lakh people to get government jobs in 18 months announces PM Modi. It's a good news for us. Number of recruitment likely to focus on vacancies in railways, armed forces and GST department. Fine. Okay, 10 lakh personals within the next 18 months in a mission mode. A major drive will be there. 10 lakh people to be done by the government in next 1.5 years. Then Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, 3C Chief of the Service Chief, announced the Agnipath scheme recruiting youth between age 17.5 and 21 for 4-year stint in armed forces with a provision of voluntary retention after this period based on merit. Employment has emerged as one of the major challenges before Modi government. Okay, an additional problem having frequent leak of examination paper for both departments such as railway and for teacher recruitment as well during recently concluded Uttar Pradesh election. In fact, police lathi-charge protesting student Prayagraj and in Patna Bihar who has been preparing for railway recruitment board exams were told that the cause of question paper because the question paper leaked exam has to be cancelled. While not sharing figures of which department would be recruiting how much and all those things are there, it is said that recruitment will be in railways, armed forces, central parliamentary forces, GST department including customs and excise and administrative staff, for government owned bank and insurance company. The recruitment for GST department, which are revenue generating department, is important. Okay, fine. It hope that setting up a deadline will help in recruitment fast. Fine. So it's a good news. Inflation in India wholesale prices weakened to new record of 15.9% in May from 15.1% in April. Okay, so still increasing trend in WPI but decreasing trend in CPI. Okay, so what is this phenomena called? Decoupling. Okay, so there is a observed decoupling. Okay, 14 months in a row. Fuel and power inflation accelerated further to 40 and 38. Okay, so fuel and power inflation has also accelerated. This is important. Rebounded retail inflation has eased slightly from 8%, obviously 8% to 7%, and thus there is a decoupling. Okay, desynchronization. Fine. Now let's see the next news done on this page. Now let's see on other pages. Hike in MSP for Kharif crop. Former Haryana Chief Minister Bhupender Singh Hooda on Tuesday said that hike in MSP announced for Rabi and Kharif crop has proved that BJP-led government promised to double the farmer income by 2022 was mere gimmick. Yes. The farmer income was not doubled by 2022. Obviously, some months are left, but I don't see it happening. Okay. Let's see. Internet Explorer retires today. It's a very good. It was good in its time when we used to learn computer. This was the only software, right, for Internet Explorer for exploring the internet. Okay, we'll do the editorial and text and context pages at last as usual. First, analyze the most important news. Okay, let's see. Now this Agnipath scheme is very important. We'll have to see what is it. Agniveers means the person who takes this, who is a beneficiary of this Agnipath scheme, will be called Agniveer, can apply for regular employment. Okay, apply for regular employment after 4 years and may get priority. Okay. Defense Minister on Tuesday announced the Agnipath scheme for recruitment of youth in armed forces for 4 years. The process of recruitment will commence in 90 days with a planned intake of 46,000 young men and women this year. This will be only form of recruitment of soldiers into 3 defense services from now. Mr. Singh said the scheme was aimed at strengthening national security for providing opportunity to youth to serve in the armed forces. Recruits under the scheme will be known as Agniveer. After completing 4-year service, they can apply for regular employment in armed forces. They may be given priority over others for various jobs in the government department. The move is expected to decrease the average age of profile of armed forces personnel from current 32 to 24-26 over a period of time. Okay. Enrollment to all the 3 services will be through centralized online system COS with special rallies and campus interviews at recognized technical institutes such as Industrial Training Institute and National Skill NSQF. Okay, so with special rallies and campus interviews with recognized technical institutes such as Industrial Training Institute and National Skill Qualification Framework. Recruitment will be carried out on an all India all class basis with eligibility ranging from 17.5 years to 21 years with medical and physical fitness standards in accordance with existing norms. The Agniveer will receive an annual package of 4.76 lakhs for first year to 6.92 lakhs in 4th year, apart from risk and hardship and other allowances as applicable. Okay. Under the Seva Nidhi package, they will receive about 11.71 lakh including contribution and interest on completion of the service. Okay. So Seva Nidhi package, they will get about 12 lakh rupees and interest and on completion of the service. The recruits will have to contribute 30% of their monthly emoluments to Seva Nidhi with a matching contribution made by the government. There will be no entitlement to gratuity. So no gratuity will be there, and pension benefits under the scheme, and there will be no pension benefits. Why? Because this is not a regular service. However, Agniveers will be provided with a non-contributory life insurance of 48 lakh during the service. Fine. Total budget allocation is 5.25 lakh crores, which revenue allocation is 2.33 lakh crores, capital is 1.52 lakh crores, and defense pension adds up to 1.19 lakh crores. What did the opposition say? Attack the center over his Agniveer scheme for recruitment of soldiers into forces, largely on short-term contractual basis, alleging that decision could compromise the efficiency and operational capability of the 3 services. The party also expected concern about future of the youth. Okay, this is a kind of shallow statement. Why? Because the age limit is about 17 to 21 years, right? This is the time when they are in either standard 11th, 12th to graduation time. Okay, so this is one thing. If so, the challenge that I see for youth is education. Okay, if they get somehow educated, then it would be good, right? If the government provides for education of these people in together with that they are able to do 11th and 12th class also, then what is the problem? Let's see how it unfolds. Fine. And compromise the efficiency and operational capability, this is irrelevant. Why? Because as far as I understand, the new trainees won't be sent to directly Jammu and Kashmir for military operations. No, seasoned soldiers are sent there, are sent there, right? So one of them is a problem, another is just a creation of hype. Okay. Opposition in this country don't understand what they need to say and what they don't need to say. That's why the government in power remains the government in power, because the opposition is not doing its part well, right? So the survey says unemployment has decreased. I don't understand how, but let's see. And that is also said by labor force survey. Okay, PLFS fell to 4.2% in 2021-2022 compared to 2020-2021 compared to 4.8% earlier. So not a very big fall, but yes, there has been a fall, and that's a good sign. Let's see. The LFPR continues to improve further according to latest LFPS. Okay, the graph show LFPR over years across genders. Okay. Okay, so PLFS says what? It is about 4.2% unemployment, and Mosby has released this, which means that only 4.2% of adults who looked for job could not get any work in rural and urban areas of the country in 2021. And who publishes it? NSO. These are important things. What does this mean? Who publishes this report? And how? So rotational panel sampling design. So only this is important. Okay, in urban area to assess the labor force participation, worker population, etc. Okay, first is sampling. Okay, Fine. LFPR, the percentage of person in labor force, was it okay? LFPR, percentage of person in labor force, it was 41.6%, and it increased from 40.1%, so 1.5% increase. WPR, worker population ratio, was about 40% in increase from about 38%, right? Okay, so this was just a report of survey. Let's see if a article comes on this, then we'll be in a better position to understand if any other dimensions are related with it, right? Now the presidential poll special cell setup. Let's see, with nomination of presidential. Now tell me one thing: electoral college for president elections. Do comment below that what comprises of this electoral college for president election. Okay, with the nomination process for presidential elections set to begin on Wednesday, the Rajya Sabha Secretariat has set up a special cell for polls. Okay, so the Rajya Sabha Secretariat has set up a special cell for the polls. The Rajya Sabha Secretary General PC Modi has been appointing a returning officer for of July 18 president. So the date is July 18. Okay, the cell, which has been set up following the introduction of ECI, comprises almost all the officers from Rajya Sabha Secretariat, table office officers on special duty, Mukul Pandey, and Joint Secretary in Rajya Sabha Secretariat, Surendra Kumar Tripathi, both assistant recruiting officer for the election, are also part of the cell. Since nomination paper would only be available at Parliament House, the cell will ensure hassle-free process for those asking for the forms, filling their nomination. The election will be held across country, but counting will take place in Parliament. The election will be held across country. Why? Because election college, try to understand, electoral college comprises of MPs elect, okay, or member of Legislative Assembly of States elected. Okay, so this is done at Parliament House, both voting, counting, and this is at the rate, or say voting at the rate state legislature, counting at the rate Parliament. Okay, so this is the thing. Fine, you are getting the point. This is how it goes. Now let's see if anything else is remaining on this page. Nothing, no news. Elderly lack financial and social security, says study. Let's see. 52% of those surveyed reported inadequate income. Yes, this is a problem, inadequate income. 40% says that they did not feel financially secure. Okay, 47% of elderly people are economic dependent on their family for income. 34% relied on pension and cash transfers, while 40% of the surveyed people have expressed their desire to work as long as possible, highlighting the need to pay greater attention to social security of senior citizens in the country. Okay, Eve of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day was based on survey conducted by an NGO. Okay, inadequate income, did not feel financially secure, expenditure was excess of their savings, pension amount not enough for survival. Okay, fine. The survey also found that 71% of the seniors were not working, 36% were willing to work, and 40% wanted to work as long as possible. Fine. Okay. Okay, there is availability of healthcare facilities nearby. However, 78% mentioned unavailability of app-based online healthcare facility, and significant 67% reported that they do not have any health insurance at the critical stage of their life. Highlighted the way elder abuse is perceived and reported. 59% of elders felt that elder abuse was prevalent in society. Yes, this is. But only 10% reported being victims themselves. So you understand what is the major problem. Now these are the points that have to be written in examination, that will fetch marks. Okay, look, elderly issues is one of the part of the what we say, the it is part of that part. Yes, child and women, elderly, what we say, that a weak section of the society. Okay, underprivileged, weak section of the society, right? So in that part, okay, so elderly abuse is 1 point, financial plus social security missing is second point. What is the third point? Psychological support missing, especially in nuclear family. Why so? Because look, the child, mother and father lives away from the traditional house, right, where father or the elderly generally live, and that's why there is no connect between the say the grandparent and the child. Okay, they feel psychological support missing because they don't have anyone to talk to them, right? After that, there is one more thing, that they do not, okay, lack of strength plus sense organs not function defected. These lead to what? Dependence. This leads to what? This leads to decreased self-confidence. Just imagine what problem your grandfather or grandmother faces. That is what you have to write here, okay, in elderly abuser. Fine. Add more points, 4-5 points. You don't have the scope to write more than 4 or 5 points in an answer if the answer is open-ended. Why? Because you have to discuss about it or you have to comment on it. So you will be writing 4 or 5 points in favor, 4 and 5 points in opposite, 2-3 points for way forward. You already got 10-12 points in a 15 marker answer, and 10-12 points will obviously go beyond 3 pages. You have to write very small, then you'll reach that part, right? Okay, let's see your next page. IRDA extends is insurance norms for crop. Okay, IRDA extending the timeline of relaxation pertaining to solvency margin required for crop insurance. Okay, now it has been decided to extend relaxation on what till further orders. Fine, nothing here. So I think we have done with the news analysis. Yes, we are over with the news analysis. Now let's go and do up the editorial, text and context, and op-ed page, right? Cut. The C factor in Russia-Ukraine war. There is a little clarity about the extent to which both sides have used cyber weapons. There could be underlying reasons. Let's see it very briefly. Well into the second 100 days of Russian-Ukraine conflict, the world is aware of awash with speculation about reasons so-called failure of Russian armed forces to deal with decisive blow against much smaller country Ukraine. This may appear to be one-sided view, but Russia is yet to achieve what it termed as a decisive victory in any sector of the current conflict. Analyzing Russian response. Okay, several reasons have been given by experts in the West for lackluster performance of Russian army. Frequent mention are lack of motivation and poor morale of Russian forces sent to Ukraine, many of whom were conscript who had little desire to participate in bloody conflict. Absence of trust between the higher and middle lower ranks of. Okay, these things are the Russian weaponry being outdated and ineffective. Okay, Ukraine was bearing present with generous help from NATO and Western power. Admittedly, Russian commanders have also proved inept in devising plans and taking appropriate decisions in battlefield. Viewed against the perspective when Ukraine started conflict that Ukraine would capitulate within a matter of weeks, all has contributed to a feeling of in the West that Russia armed forces are overrated and that when threat they pose to democratic West is greatly exaggerated. Okay. A word of caution, however, is there that Russia's spending on its military over several decades has been far higher than every other country, right? And especially more than the two countries, that is United Kingdom and France. Russia armed arsenal has been on public display on several occasions, and they can hardly be written off, even if question is now being raised about their invincibility. The reality is that much of Russia's advanced weaponry has not been employed in Ukraine conflict, and hence West should not read the tea leaves wrongly and write off Russia's military strength, lest it encounter misguided elements to embark any hazardous misadventure. Okay, so we should not take Russians weaponry lightly. Why? Because much of their advanced weapon has not been used till date. Now the role of cyber. Reasons for Russia's bad performance need to be found elsewhere. Given that cyber is often touted as fifth dimension of warfare, it may be worthwhile to examine whether this indeed is the first major conflict in which cyber is playing a crucial role, allowing a weaker nation of cyber capability to use its advantage. Public memory tends to be short, for it was only a decade ago that distinguished President of United States Barack Obama had warned that in event of conflict or otherwise cyber attack would plunge the entire city into darkness. The former chief of National Security Agency of US, okay, in his memory he said that although cyberspace is a man-made domain, it has becomes critical to military operations on land, sea and air and in space. A formal Okay, cyber Pearl Harbor to okay. Former US Defense Secretary few years ago even talked of a possible cyber Pearl Harbor to paralyze nation and create profound sense of vulnerability. Likewise, some years ago, US intelligence community has put out warning that their nation was on and was under threat as North Korea operatives were in position to pre-position cyber munitions inside America's critical infrastructure. This is a lie, and detonate them in event of conflict. Detonate them in event of conflict. Every time this kind of lie they flash so that the people in America are fooled. The Russian military oligarchy is indeed among the world's leader in digital. Okay, earlier attacks are also there. Give it a read. There is nothing new here, but no Armageddon tantamount to what can be described as a large-scale cyber attack. As far as the conduct of war is concerned, the string of small-scale cyber attack cannot be said to have any material impact of the war. Okay. Question is why, given that Ukraine has put such heroic defense and considerable extent stalled Russian offensive, Russia has not embarked on a massive all-out cyber offensive. It's like Russia is trying to play ethically here. Okay, and when you play ethically, you are gone. Ethics is not to be applied in war where the other party is not ethical. Fine. NATO is never ethical. Okay, it is NATO versus Russia, as I read it, in Ukraine. Fine, and they have left Ukraine alone now. You see, NATO is never ethical. Fine, so don't apply ethics there. Okay, give it a read. There is nothing much here. Now let's see this malnutrition one. Gaurav Gogoi, and who is this person? I have not seen. Member of Parliament from Assam. Okay, so he is the MP, and that from Congress. So let's see what he has to say. The country's response to his burden of malnutrition and growing anemia has to be practical and innovative. Okay, so he wants to give some practical and innovative solutions, and we must see. Maybe we can write a point or two in examination. Good nutrition has power to empower the present and future generation. In India's greatest national treasure is its people, but even after 75 years of independence, a majority of them do not get required diet. A child nutrition status is directly linked to their mother. Poor nutrition among pregnant women affect the nutritional status of child and has a great chance of affect future generation. Undernourished child are at risk of underperforming in studies and have limited job perspective. Okay, so yes, obviously undernourished child are at risk of underperforming in studies and have limited job prospect. The vicious cycle restrain the development of country whose workforce affected mentally and physically have reduced work capacity. Obviously, marginal improvement. While there has been some progress in tackling malnutrition among children and women over the past decade, the improvement has been modest at best. This is despite declining rate of poverty, increased self-sufficiency in food production, and implementation of a range of government programs. The NHFS has shown marginal improvement in different nutrition indicators, indicating that the pace of progress is slow. Okay, so NFHS 5 has shown marginal improvement, but it also indicated that pace of progress is slow. Children in several states are more undernourished now than they were 5 years ago. So there is spatial variation. Fine. Now let's see. Stunting, wasting, anemia. What is stunting? Height to age low. Wasting, weight to age high. Okay. While there was some reduction in stunting rate. Okay. Okay. So and some reduction in stunting rate, and that too spatial. This would have a spatial character. You understand why? Because some states will have decreased stunting rate, some would have increased, but average decrease, right? So Gujarat, West Bengal, Kerala has seen increase. Stunting is defined as low height for age, as I said here. Malnutrition trends across the NHFS survey shows that wasting, the most visible and life-threatening form of malnutrition, has either risen or has remained stagnant over the year. Okay, so it has remained either high or has even risen. Wasting is low weight for height. Did I say age there? No, it is height. Okay, I was not confirmed here, right? So let's see. India is also highest prevalent of anemia in the world. Anemia is defined as condition which number of red blood cells or hemoglobin concentration within them is lower than normal. NHFS 5 survey indicates that more than 57% of women are over 67% of children suffer from anemia. My home, Assam, is among the low performing state with a huge burden of anemia cases. It is imperative to introspect about this problem, which remains persistent, pervasive and serious. Anemia has persistent, pervasive and serious. Anemia has major consequences in terms of human health and development. It reduces work capacity, etc., etc., etc. Developing countries lose up to 4.05%. Yeah, this is a good data, but I don't know the source, so I won't be quoting that. India loses about 1.2% of GDP annually. Set up the financing. There is a greater need now to increase investment in women and children health. Yes, that is true. And nutrition to ensure their sustainable development and improve quality of life. While the government focus has been on consolidation of several programs to improve outcomes, and there is a need for increased financial commitment. Experts have pointed out that Saksham Anganwadi and Prime Minister overarching scheme Poshan 2.0 have seen only marginal increase in budgetary allowance this year. Additionally, 32% of funds released under Poshan Abhiyan to states and union territories has not been utilized. So two things are there. First, that budgetary allowance has been low for Poshan 2.0, and second, whatever has been the budgetary allowance, out of which about 1/3 is not utilized. Fine. So you give 100 rupees, from 98 rupees you make the budgetary allowance 100 rupees, and out of which about 33% means 33 rupees is not being utilized, and that shows the inefficiency, right? Monitor constituencies too. India must adopt an outcome oriented approach in nutrition program. Outcome oriented approach. Okay. It is crucial that parliamentarians begin monitoring needs and intervention in their constituency and raise awareness on the issue, impact and solutions to address the challenges at local level. Okay, there has to be direct engagement with nutritionally valuable group. Direct engagement is always good with nutritionally vulnerable group. This includes elderly, pregnant women, and those with special needs and young children, and contribute towards ensuring last mile delivery of key nutrition service and intervention. This will ensure general awareness on one hand and proper planning and implementation program. Okay, at grassroots level, which can then be replicated at district and national level. So it is saying a bottom up approach, right? So implement at the grassroots level, at the level of Panchayati Raj and ULBs, followed by at district level, followed by state level, followed by national level. Okay, with basic education and general awareness, every individual is informed, take initiative at personal level, and can become an agent of change. Okay, various studies highlight a strong link between mother education and improved access and compliance with nutrition intervention among children. We must ensure our young population have competitive advantage. Nutrition and health are fundamental to the outcome. Okay, other step, I strongly believe that there should be a process to monitor and evaluate programs and address systemic and on the ground challenge. As a policymaker, I recommend that a new policy or a new or existing committee or the relevant standing committee meet and deliberate over effective policy decision, monitor implementation of a scheme, and review nutritional status across the state. The country response to malnutrition and its growing anemia burden should be practical and innovative. This is critical to make India the malnutrition free and anemia free a reality and not just an aspiration. Everyone is a stakeholder and should contribute towards this. We should not become part of any tragedy that is preventable. Okay, average article I would say, because it has just outlined that this should be done, this should not be done, and these are the problems and these are also the problems, and for that we can do only this thing. But these are not new solutions. We know these solutions that increase the awareness, increase the efficacy of schemes, and implementation of those schemes should be good, and all those things we already know this. Now bottom up approach, right? Villages to to center, or like that, from farm to folk to farm, and all those things, right? So we know this concept. So this I would consider this an average article. If you want, yes, you make the note, but the points are average, right? It's up to you now. The way to end child marriage, a legalistic approach might become counterproductive if women schooling or skills are not enhanced. Okay, fine, I understand this. Women schooling or skills is not enhanced. So what is this? This is skilling, or better say empowering women. Okay, why? Now if we empower the women, then automatically child marriage and these things, dowry cases, etc., would come down. I won't say that it would become nil, because I don't see this possible, especially in coming some years. But yes, it would come down, and that's what we should target, right? Now you'll have a structural factor based on patriarchy. Okay, apart from that, gender roles. 2 points will be there mostly. Now education outcomes, yes, women, education, independence, financial independence, decision taking capacity, okay, break glass ceiling, all these things, care work, to care work in family to caring of nation. As these points are there, you just know about this. These are easy points, right? You don't have to worry. Text and context pages. Can Google chatbot be sentient? Lambda, Google modern conversational agent, is enabled with a neural network capable of deep learning. Lambda is Google's answer to quest for developing a non-goal directed chatbot that dialogues on various subjects. Such advanced software could revolutionize customer interaction and help AI-based internet search. Okay. So what is Lambda? It is a artificial intelligence based chatbot that has capacity of deep learning, right? So what can it help us with? It can help us with the customer care thing. With access to big data and a powerful processor, deep learning software can learn by itself, unsupervised by humans. By sorting and shifting through massive data and finding hidden patterns, Google claims that Lambda can make sense of nuanced conversation and engage in a natural conversation. However, these seemingly human-like agents rely on pattern recognition, not empathy, wit, candor, or intent. Okay, so sentiments from here. Sentiments missing, only data. The challenges of AI metamorphosing into Sentinel are far in the future. However, unethical AI perpetuating historical bias and echoing hate speech are the real danger to watch for. So this is an important point, right? That maybe AI may present a changed history as well as may monger in hate speech, right? Reuters Institute Digital News Report 2022 report finds that trust in news is falling in nearly half of the country's survey. Obviously, they keep on shouting, with significant proportions of the public, especially younger age group, beginning to turn away from the news because this is the age of digital news, right? People prefer news over social media than to watch news channels. Average level of trust is now 42%, was found to be lower than previous year. India registered a small increase in level of trust with 41% trusting news overall. YouTube, what I said, 53% WhatsApp, 51% were top social media platform for scrolling news. Okay, I think we have come to end of yes. So with this we end today's newspaper analysis. I hope you like it. So please subscribe to the channel, okay, and comment below what you feel about the channel. Like the work, comment, and share the work, right? This would help every needy with regards to this examination. So with this I am ending today's newspaper analysis. I hope you understand all the important news today, all the issues, contemporary issues in India today. So goodbye, good luck, Jai Hind. Cut. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also keep studying hard, keep following your dreams, and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.